what does he call the Chef of Hakavanot? So what was he talking about here? Excuse me if I'm a little cold. I was doing something else. Tallit v'chatzitzios hu b'bechinas or hamakif hanimshach mitzad ima ilo el zer anpin. Let me try to get my head back into this. So this is or makif. It comes from ima law to zer anpin. He's a navi bekitzer, so he wants to explain this and say it out. I think it's worth hearing. So he says navi bekitzer as seder atikunim hanaasim al yedera talis kadin v'talis godol the shittas of Shaar. So we know that he said up above that you should really wear the talis cotton all the time, except in the bathhouse, even in the bathroom. I think he's going to say something like that. Let's look at it like this. He calls them now, we usually don't say this. We usually say names of the spheros. Here he says the names of the lights. That it says 5 partsufim of light, which are Narandchi. Sheheba Bechinas Ivor, Nefesh, Yanika, Ruach. That's the and then he goes through them of godless, which is also that's the continence. The continence is Nefesh, Ruach, and Nefesh and Ruach, and godless is Neshama Chai Yechida. V'tikun mitzvahs tzitzis, so that tikkun, Na'asa of the parts of a Yanika, it really happens in the parts of a continence, or parts of a Zeh Atzman, the Chalak, the Bechinas, the Narantki Pratim, it each has its own Narantki as well. Wow, I got to really concentrate on this a little bit better. So he's a Pratim. V'tikudim Na'asa Yedech v'mitzvahs talis katan v'talis godol. So in order to be misakin these two aspects, which is the continence and the godless, so we have two different talesim. The al yedecha the bishus talis cotton, misaknim umamshichim mochin the partsufim iber v'yanika, hapratim the parts of yanika. So let's say that again. You're bringing misaknim mamshichim mochim into the iber and the yanika stage for specifically other parts of the parts of hayanika, which is that part. So he says this is the same thing like in the Rishash of the Chagat Nai of the Chagat. So he said, Lepartsufi, Iver, V'yanika, Apratim, the parts of V'yanika, Shehem Nefesh and Ruach Shebechem, the Hainda Chagat V'nai, that's the Nai, Chagat Nai of the Chagat. Vayidei, the Vishas Talis Gadol, now that's what happens there, so, but whatever it is, the detail here, we're talking about the Chagat. So he says, the Chagat Nai of the Chagat. Vayidera the vicious talis gadol, so that's the vicious talis cotton. Misaktim mamshichin mochin the parts of hagados apratim the parts of a yanika. So there's also a chabad here, a chabad of the parts of a yanika. Shehem nai shebehem the haino chabad. I read it wrong. Shehem nechi. So nechi is the same word, same concept of the light. That's when the concept of chabad. That's my words. So he says, so what have you got here? So now you're producing all of that. So now your talis is always dealing with mochin the katnas, it looks like. Now we find all different kinds of things written about the Rab. As we see, if we're learning this for the Tzniuta, there is so many different views or different traditions. The hatalas who shachas mekifim. That idea. On the other side, he says, it's something else. It's you bring mamshech mochim panimium into zeranpin. Varishas yashev. So he says like this, so we don't really have time to get into all of the other ideas, but he's hinting that there's more to this than appears. Now, I'm not sure where we got to last time, but I'm still working on the shefas. And on the Shefet, we're going to move to number Lamed Daled. Now, Lamed Daled wrote up above, he says, it's very nice of him to requote them again for me. So you have to be careful. This is this idea that we had once before. Let me get down a little bit better here. There we go. He says, Shelo lahasech me'alav tzitzis katan lo biyom v'lo b'layla. V'yishkav imo b'layla. V'yoim ma'od lebato kochos litzonim. I'm not really sure how that works, but that's what he says. Vein zaman shetzarach lahasech b'sech me'alav ela b'knisalsa the base of merchats. So I would like more pshat here. I don't know if I'm going to get it. Let's see what he says. Hachme Tunis. Shala was a Rishash. So where was that? Nar Shalom. So he has apparently over there. Shiloh Ayin has. Ayin Hay. Badaver Misha Nizdamein lo lilvush talis katan balayla. So that person has the opportunity to do that. Whether or not, that was their question, I guess. Whether or not he should make a bracha, which means to me that there was a hepsek between the time he had it on the day and the time he had it on nighttime. Ma'acher shaladas rav kan laila zman talis katnu. But we don't see the answer to that lachem tshuva. So he says l'chayra hoyinira shalam da rabachach mechabetunas b'das rav zal, that they were learning, of course, to think of the rav. Shesvir b'chabedei the laila zaman tzitzis, who holds that we've seen that it's time of tzitzis v'kasha. The came. Havitzitzis mitzvah saseish ein azman grama, that it's a mitzvah that the time is not relevant to it. So that therefore we could say, hey, wait a minute, those are the ones that women are chayav on. Of a divich of Rab mitzando the head. Yes, so according to the Rab we see specifically shekasav the nashim b'toras b'tzitzis, that women are pater from tzitzis. I guess that's where it is. Kosach the Mediviru Rabbeinu Rizal Mukach Kashitas Harash the Savale. So it's interesting the characters he bringing in here. Harash the Savale the Chsus Yom Belaylo Chaya Betzitzis. The Chsus Yom Belaylo Chaya Betzitzis. I guess he means to say you have to put on tzitzis. I don't know what the answer. The either the Shitas of Rambam, according to the Rav, the Chsus Yom B'layla Pater. So I guess that's the phrase. That's the phraseology there. Or was that the right word? The Chsus Yom B'layla Chaya Betzitzis. The either of the Shitas of Rambam. This is the way that the Rosh held. The Chsus Yom B'layla is Pater. Ma Hoil L'David the Shalchei Betzitzis. So how did it held David and Melech to lay down with the tzitzis? He's not doing any mitzvah here. So therefore we're seeing like this, that what the Rav really holds here, the Laila who Zaman Talis Katan is the time for the Talis Katan, who lo machmas the salva the Laila Zaman tzitzis, is not trying to say that. Alakashitas Arash the Varo also Shafar, but so he's not trying to say that, or what? According to the Rush, it comes out good. The Akati, it's not like it's a new time. It's Akati mitzvahs asay shazman grama, v'nashim paturos, that it's still, I don't know exactly how I understand it. Maybe you understand it better. Read again. V'yu'uyin sham be'eshel avraham mebachesh. He said, "B'masha kazach l'davar l'dun b'din l'vishat tzitzis b'layla b'tzad iser kaltos baltaisif ayin sham sha'arich." But at any rate, the Rav said, this is what the Rav says, so we have, obviously, the Rambam doesn't hold like that. I was thinking that he meant, I was confused by this word, with this concept, the mitzvahs asay shazman grama. So we want to say that women should also be chayav to it because it's not zman grama. I thought that the answer, but I didn't quite see it, was going to be that it's actually one mitzvah all the time, with an exception when you go to the bathhouse. But that's what I thought, but I'm not sure. Let's go on to the next one. He's got another one here. Number Lamed Hey. Remember Lamed say, hey, he says, so this is not so easy for me, so I'm doing the best I can. I was off balance too. So if a person is sleeping, he takes off the tzitzis cotton. Im came lama lo choya mitzdayer b'kol laila shehoya nesha b'li shum mitzvah. So why does a person? That was the answer over there by David HaMelech, because he would go to the bathhouse and he didn't want to take his tzitzis off because he always wanted to have a mitzvah, but then he thought that, well, he had a bris, that's a mitzvah. So I think that was the story over there. So he says, let's read this. He says, Amagen Avraham Kasav al Rayazu. So in this proof here is the devour of a divrich kabbalah of the kabel. What's that mean? Avachal the din. He said yesh tshuva. There's an answer. So this is the language here. I'm trying to pick it up. So he said the yesh lomer the belaylo al kol panim hoyu lacha mezuzah bepescha. So there is a mitzvah there. So if you want to say the same din, like you say that when you're in the bathhouse, you have a bris there, no matter what. So the same thing in your house, even if you don't put on your tzitzis, you got a mitzvah over here. So what is he really getting at? Masha Ein came by merchatz, which is not the case by a merchatz, where I'm not sure. So there is no mezuzah in a merchatz, in that area of the merchatz. Of the sharich of the tshuv v'sham hevi od lahakshos, he comes over here more to ask this question better. He says, David Sefer Torah kosher b'zroah. Now maybe you know that, I didn't know that. He had his Sefer Torah tied onto his arm. Vihi mitzvahs amelech. I guess that means it's something that he developed. I'm not sure what mitzvahs amelech is. Again, you probably know. B'birchos Yosef Tiretz, he answers that the David hikbid sheyihid lecha b'mitzvahs shebegufo. He wanted the mitzvahs and somehow on his body. He didn't want to be separated from the mitzvah. Therefore, he wasn't settled. Didn't rest his thinking by the mitzvah a mezuzah for Sefer Torah. He had to have a Sefer Torah on his arms. Lo nocha data b'mitzvahs mezuzah for Sefer Torah. Not sure that I thought what I get nocha wrong there. Nocha. Let's go on. We got another one. Elavada she'ein zaman she'yeh patach b'netzitzis cotton eladavka b'merchatz. And this is what we want to come out with this thought. This is the thought of the Rav, going all the way back around all the different possibilities. He says, Kosef Akaf on the Orch Chaim she'abirchi Yosef. Kosef she'devarim amurim l'kol adam. That this is talking about everybody. Kain Nalgo Rabim B'Shleimim Amiyashrim or Chosam. The people are really trying to do the right thing. The Shkav B'Talis Cotton, to lay down and go to bed with wearing your Kalas Tachan. V'Hosev Hakafa Chaim. He also adds on to this. The Achshav called the Olam Noagim Kedivra Rizal Gedolim V'Getanim. Is that true? I don't think so. I thought we were really Noeg by like the Rambam. The talus, not to take off his talus cotton. Afilu b'layla, ki'im b'merchatz, only there. V'alechem tavach b'berchatz tov. That's what he says. He says v'ayim sham od shohakich b'divrech of Ravkan. Also bring something over here. Shagam be'ez sheyotzach b'adad na'asot tzarcha. If you go into the bathroom, tzarch li'yishayir melush b'talis cotton. V'lo yibshatanu. U'kamosha psak b'shulchan aruch also over there. He says over there, that's the halacha. Od kosach of Shama Rizvah b'divrei harav. Mukach shagam be'ez hazivuk. Also, at the time of Yichud, Yichud beluvet b'talis cotton. Shekain kosev kan sharak be'ez rechitza. Yehia below talis cotton. Okay, so if you're going that way, I don't know, you're the posek. You have to write me and tell me what we actually do. I know what we are holding like the Rambam. I think. Am I right about? No, we actually do this, huh? What?
Well, no, people are cautious for the rush. You're supposed to leave your towel on at night.
Yeah, But he's talking about laying down when
Yeah,
you're
but only
cohabiting.
can, yeah, but the minute gets leave it on at nighttime.
Oh, really?
Of
Okay.
course.
Okay.
No, so sleeping is different. Everyone leaves their towel that sits on at night.
We're talking
They
about
take it out.
going to
I'm sorry.
sleep. And you mean they're going to sleep too?
That's something else. So some people do, some people don't. Hasidim do, Svardim do, and people that are attuned to the Rizal sleep with tzitzits. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. So what time we got? We have 2 minutes. Well, let's look at number Lamed Zion. It's got a little. I have a little something to look at this too. Gam ein roy lomer shum kina, v'lo laora shum bechia. Actually, that's where I stopped, but I'll read it anyway because actually it's really up above. We should look at it. We should look it up above. Number Lamed Zion. Number Samach Dalet up above, or Samach Dalet. Here it is. Gam ein roy lomer shum bekina v'lo laora shum bechia al churban abayis. Rak acher hotzos genizkar. So he says. Genizkar pamaim rabos parshas v'yakel. It says over there. Bechatzos alayla, because why? Oz misora habechia lamala al churban beis migdash. Okay, so this is like he's presenting this as a fact. Vaz zimna amitis. This is the mana. This is the real true time. Od me'inyanech alayla. Also, when we're talking about what we do at nighttime. She'em lomer kinas of levachos ala churban kodem chatzos alayla. Rak machatzos ve'elach hu zaman haroi lekoinen ala churban. B'vnei shebechatzos alayla nishlamo yeridas rachel lebria. This is a concept. This is the same concept that's happening every night as the churban. He says. And misorah bechil lamala b'chalomos adyoni, because now it's complete. She's no longer in Itzilus. So we're going to see this later on. It's a deep idea. We're out of time. We could read it. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Okay. Mitzvah Shem. We'll pick that up tomorrow.